So this video is we are troubleshooting an open hot. We've got a call that we've got some lights and receptacles are out. So we've got an outlet, nothing here. We've checked some switches to make sure that it's not a switched outlet, but this one controls the center light. We got power out to this outlet down here. This outlet over here. Let's see here. Looks like no power here. Looks like we got electricity on this one. So on the ones that we don't have power, it's open hot. And what we need to do first is identify which circuit breaker controls the circuit and what is all on this circuit. Tedious way to do that is we're going to check for continuity with our grounds and neutrals. So this, we are showing continuity, ground and neutral. Next, we're going to go to the panel and show you what steps to take to identify that circuit breaker. So first off, before we start trying to figure out what circuit it is, we need to check to make sure that it's just not a trip breaker. All these look like they're on. Sometimes they will be tripped, but they'll be in the on position. So first off, we're just going to test to make sure that we got power on each breaker. Yeah, it looks like we do. It's also good to check to make sure these are all snug. If these wires aren't screwed down tight enough, they could have just gotten loose. All right, so we made sure that our breakers are all working. Now we need to find out what all is on that circuit. This is kind of a tedious task. So what you'll need to do is you just start off with a 15 amp circuit, turn it off, find the neutral that goes with it, take it off the neutral bar, and then test for continuity at the outlet that's not working. So go ahead and show that, and turn that breaker off. Who knows what goes up here? All right, so we've isolated this neutral from the neutral bar. Now we're going to go over to our outlet, and we're going to check to make sure, see if we still have continuity there. If we don't, then we know this is our circuit. If we do, we need to keep going. So let's go check that real quick. These outlets look like they're original to the house, but they're backstabbed. Good chance it's going to be a loose wire coming out of the back of the outlet. This house was built in 1997. Usually you start seeing problems with these backstabs after about 10 years. All right, so we still have continuity on this one, so I need to continue on testing until I can find that correct circuit breaker. So we've come down to our 5th circuit. I didn't do the 20s. I'm just doing the 15s. So I've got this one down. So I'm going to go check to see if we have continuity on this one. Okay. So we've separated our ground and neutral at the panel. We don't have continuity on this circuit. We know that that circuit breaker is the one that we're having a problem with. So now what I want to do is just go through and see what all is on that circuit. So we know this one's not working. We've checked this office desk, this light overhead. This outlet back here is not working. This outlet's not working. This one is working. This one's working. So this one, that one's working. Let's see what we got behind this couch. That one's not working. That's not working. This one's out. Our ceiling fan is out. Can lights are out. Eating area lights out. Bathroom lights. So this one's on. All right, so this is on. So is this little closet here. Let's see, that guy's on. Back to our foyer light's on. That's from here. This guy is off. So you definitely want to make sure you take a look to see, what all is on, what all is off. That'll give you an idea of where you want to start. We've got, these are out in here. This is out, this was out. I'm thinking this was on before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it back on, and I want to just make sure what was off and what's on that same circuit. Pause it. So if I remember right, we had, these were not working. This light was out. This was out. This guy was off. I think our outlet behind the couch is off. It's on right now. And That's off. That's off. I got it still off. And it looks like that one's off, that light's off. All right. So if I were to guess, I'd kind of like to, now that we kind of see what's on and what's off, what's all on the circuit, kind of looks as if the circuit's probably traveling around this room and going back that way. So this is off. This is on. These guys are relatively close together, so we probably either have a problem here at this outlet or here. You can stop it. So I went ahead and turned the breaker back off. We're gonna start here. We had power on the outlet on the upside of this wall. We don't have power here. It's a good chance that this is where our break is. We're just going to start here. We're going to take this apart. Just kind of pull this out. Look at our wiring and see what we got. I've got the breaker off. Just a habit of mine to just check it before I start playing with wires. So these all look good. Let's go over to this other outlet, see what we got. Oh, really good. Out wire pulled right out. Very common for these old outlets is that these things will pull out. So I'm about 100% positive this is a problem. I'm going to go ahead and make a quick little repair so we can test. See if this was our culprit. All right, let's see. All right, so we turned it on. Let's go see what we got. These were already working. All right, so we got some signs. Got our light over here is working. Okay, this one was off. We got power to it. That's on. This light obviously is on. This was working. That's on. And let's check. I think this one over here was off. Yeah, and that's on. So when you're checking for an open hot, first, make sure that it is an open hot. Next, you're going to want to check the panel, make sure all your breakers have power to them. Then you're going to want to identify the circuit that you're working on. That's probably going to take the most time. Once you've identified everything on the circuit, turn the circuit back on. Notice your differences between what's off and on. When you have those, when you can see what's kind of clustered together with your off and on outlets, that's a good indicator where to start. If you're still having problems and still can't find it, just make sure, just pull everything out, scour the house for everything that's on that circuit, and that should take care of it. This is a intermediate difficulty trying to find. The easy one would be if it was a breaker that wasn't working. A more advanced would be if you didn't have a visible problem when you started opening up outlets. And I hope this helps speed up your troubleshooting.